1964, a vision began to take shape in India. Today, that vision has established itself as one of the largest manufacturers of water dispersible type crop protection products in the world and is known as Sulfur Mills Limited. Sulfur Mills not only has a strong domestic presence but also an international one in the crop protection and nutrition management segments. Mr. Deepak Shah, CMD of Sulfur Mills Limited.
Sulfur Mills is the first company in the world to take the idea of sulfur as WDG as soil fertilizer.
Crops need 16 nutrients for normal growth. Of these, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium have traditionally been known as the major nutrients. Almost all fertilizer programs are designed to supply them in adequate amounts. Sulfur is a God-given, naturally occurring element in nature. Sulfur has been found to be the fourth major nutrient on par with nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, all essential for plant growth. For every 6 units of nitrogen, 1 unit of sulfur is required. Sulfur Mills Limited is the world's leading producer of sulfur-based products for application in agriculture. Sulfur Mills Limited became Asia's first and one of the earliest manufacturers in the world to develop the technology for WDG, SC and CS. WDGs, or water dispersible granules, are a modern and relatively environmentally friendly delivery system of imparting various actives to the target soil, plant or pest. Further, combining their knowledge of sulfur of 5 decades with the revolutionary WDG technology, Sulfur Mills Limited offers to the farmers the world's first WDG sulfur fertilizer. Fertis. Fertis, an innovative sulfur-based fertilizer. Fertis is the revolutionary Sulfur Mills Limited product that fulfills the soil's need for sulfur using the WDG technology in its formulation to ensure a highly effective and efficient method of providing the essential S nutrient to the plants in the fastest manner possible.
With Fertis, we want to first increase our customer base. We want every farmer to use Fertis. We want to contribute to increase yield of each and every farmer by 20 to 30%. In this way, we would have met the growing food demand of the future.
It is a 90% sulfur fertilizer. It is extremely small particle size. It has good spread and quick dispersion. It is available to plants within 24 hours to 48 hours of application. It is extremely suitable for fertigation or drip irrigation application. And moreover, it has a high efficiency at a lower dosage. Though there are other alternative sources of sulfur available, Fertis outshines all other alternatives far beyond expectations. Since it is smaller but more powerful, as we can see, gypsum particle size 125 microns, elemental sulfur particle size 75 microns, Fertis ultramicron particle size 2 to 4 microns. Being of the smallest particle size, it naturally gets mineralized faster to sulfate. Plants uptake sulfur from the soil in the form of sulfate. Because of the very fine size of Fertis, the conversion of sulfur to sulfate is extremely rapid and is made available to the plant within 24 to 48 hours of application. Much like other fertilizers, a greater quantum of sulfur is required in the earlier part of the growth stage of the plant. The quick dispersive property of Fertis as compared to bentonite pellets is an indicator of its capacity to make adequate amounts of sulfur easily available at a very early stage of the crop life cycle. Thus, Fertis proves its capability of increased spread and maximum efficiency. Here, it is important to note that with Fertis, the time of application is the same as other fertilizers. No additional farmer activity is required. No pre-application before sowing, hence large saving in labor costs. Can easily be used with soluble fertilizers for fertigation or drip irrigation. Fertis fulfills all required functions in effectively providing sulfur to the soil, and in doing so, it improves the pH of the soil, it improves the uptake of other nutrients, improves yield, and improves quality. The TSI FAI IFA project Crop Response to Yield findings found that the response in crops to the sulfur fertilizer was significant, as the increase in crop yields were 14 to 60%. It has residual effect on the yield of succeeding crops. And it has fantastic economic returns as the cost-to-benefit ratio is 12 to 24%. It is obvious that being an efficient provider of the sulfur nutrient to the plants, Fertis benefits the quality of the crop to a large extent. Fertis increases the oil contents of the seeds, increases protein percentage across crops, improves starch contents of tubers, improves sugar recovery in sugarcane, improves keeping quality of fruits and vegetables, and improves the nutritional quality of forage. The benefits of Fertis extend beyond the mere role of being a sulfur conduit. The positive effects of Fertis cover many areas. It helps in reducing the soil alkalinity, which has been caused due to the imbalanced and excessive use of non-sulfur-based fertilizers. Balanced uptake of nutrients. Stimulates root development. Enhances nodulation in leguminous crops. Helps in formation of chlorophyll. Plays a role in the synthesis of proteins, oils and vitamins. Activation of enzymes. Not just a higher yield, but a better quality of produce. Improves keeping quality of the produce. Better quality crop fetches more price in market. And obviously, since Fertis directly results in higher yields, it ensures much greater profits. Recommended dosage: 3 kg per acre, 6 kg per acre for longer duration crops such as sugarcane, cotton and tuberous bulbs, crops such as potatoes, onions and others. The best results have been observed in the earlier stage of the crop life cycle. The period of application is any time from sowing to 40 days post-sowing, along with other fertilizers. It is to be applied by mixing with moist sand or soil and broadcast. Studies show that by mere presence, the fertilizer sulfur affects yield in a variety of crops. 17% in rice, 30% in mustard, 25% in wheat, 25% in soybean, 20 to 22% in maize, 32% in groundnut, 16% in linseed, and 20% in sunflower. Various research institutes and universities across the country are actively conducting studies on the impact of Fertis on various crops, like the University of Agricultural Sciences, Dharwad, in rice with cost-to-benefit ratio of 1:7. The Junagadh Agricultural University in groundnut with cost-to-benefit ratio of 1:6. The Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapith, Rahuri, in banana with cost-to-benefit ratio of 1:11. And the Center for Onion and Garlic, Pune, with cost-to-benefit ratio of 1:36, to name a few. There have been experiments conducted by many such studies to observe the impact of using Fertis as compared to not using it, like in cotton, paddy, potato, mustard, tomato, and grapes.
Farmers around the world have found that Fertis is an investment and not an expense.
Here are the experiences shared by some of the farmers who have used Fertis.
We heard of Fertis in the last season. We used it along with our regular fertilizer. There was really no necessity of any extra effort or labor, and we broadcast it along with the fertilizer. We reaped an extremely good result having used very little fertilizer. And we found that the crops were lush green, growth was excellent. Specifically, the growth of the roots was greatly enhanced, and since the number of crops was greater, we obtained a higher number of cobs, and the cobs were much larger in size too. I used Fertis in sugarcane, potato, paddy and wheat. In sugarcane alone, I have reaped a surplus of 50 quintals per acre and about 3 to 4 quintals per acre in wheat. These wheat crops in which we used Fertis, as you can see, the grains have turned out to be heavier, thicker and of better quality. Having used Fertis in the potato crop, I found a significant increase in the size and quantity of the yield. Then I used it in the sunflower crop and noticed that the size of the sunflower was much larger and the number of seeds was also higher. I sow sunflower, paddy and potatoes in my fields. I have been using Fertis since the past 2 years. Using Fertis has resulted in a 20% higher yield for me compared to other farmers. It has also resulted in the size of the potatoes being larger and its color being superior, due to which I got a better price at the market. I used this in the sunflower crop as well, due to which the sunflower seeds turned out much heavier. I have used Fertis in my wheat crop using about 3 kilos per acre. The grains of wheat used to be smaller earlier, but this time we have noticed they were bigger in size. Also, the size of the crop has increased by almost 50% in every field. We feel this time the yield will be higher by 4 to 5 quintals per acre. Fertis is such a fertilizer which compensates for the lack of sulfur in the soil. Therefore, the formation of roots is enhanced and the crops are much healthier. I've got 2 acres of which I've used Fertis in 1 acre. As you can see, the size of the Fertis crop is larger and it's also heavier. It's first class and the stem is also much longer. We heard of Fertis and since we used it, we've got a better yield of crop. At least 2 quintals more per acre and around 50 quintals more per acre of sugarcane. If you use Kosavet Fertis in your crops, you have to bear an additional cost of 300 to 400 rupees upfront. But when you calculate the dividend from the crops, in my opinion, you will find a benefit of at least 1,500 to 2,000 rupees. I implore all my farmer brothers to use Fertis to protect the land from degradation and to obtain a good yield.
It is economical, it gives assured returns, its efficiency and efficacy is well tried and tested. All of this makes it more than value for money. So invest in Fertis and reap the benefits forever.
Sulfur Mills Limited's contribution to agriculture through the innovation of using the revolutionary WDG technology for the dispersion of sulfur fertilizer has brought smiles to farmers all over the world. Sulfur Mills strives hard to continue to bring products that will be technologically advanced through innovation, so that we all may continue to reap the benefits. So all in all, we can see that Fertis maintains soil health and sustains productivity, increases crop yields and quality, protects the environment, and yes, increases profits for the farmers beyond their expectations. Fertis WG, the low-cost, high-efficiency fertilizer that brings smiles of prosperity all around.